Hello everyone, my name is Sammy, probably better known as the Architect, and welcome to today's episode of Ponder. In this series, I would like to discuss some topics that might be useful for you. The objective for today is to explore some guidelines or tips for a consultant to excel in their art. In my career, I had to go through a lot of difficult use cases and complex solutions. One of the important factors was the amount of technical and functional knowledge you had to know. In the consulting world, the way a senior consultant drives their engagements is an art. Each person has their own skill set and way to proceed. For the resources that just started consulting, this may be a daunting task. In an effort to clarify the guideline for some of the rookies, I tried to narrow down most of the action items I had to go through to complete my action items. This led to the creation of what I call the consulting method. The breakdown is as follows. You need to take a step back to look at the greater picture. Once this is done, from your current understanding, analyze what is needed to complete and elaborate a plan to move forward. If you need to expand on some topics or refresh some knowledge, take the time to research. Once you have validated, go forward with the execution, which can take multiple forms during the execution lifecycle. And then finally, during the execution lifecycle, collect all of the feedback so that you can verify all your assumptions, your requirements, and all the designs that you've done previously. And the last step is really a recurring task. Without further ado, let's just delve a bit more in depth. If I encounter any situation, it's important for me to really take a step back. It will allow me to really understand what the situation at hand is and how I can approach it. This is what I would call the overall vision, so that way you can see what are the obstacles that are coming in front of you. Once everything is cleared up mentally, it's important to review what are the next steps to be able to proceed. Let's take an example. For example, taxes, and you want to implement a new subsidiary. The plan would be to gather all the information for the subsidiary. What are the different products that are going to be taxed? And if ever you need to take into account purchase tax or solely sales tax. Once you have all of your preliminary questions answered, you need to build the action plan and all of the different working sessions that are necessary. Compared to taking a step back and planning, the research phase is really where you partake your action items before the execution. Once we have all the data, we're ready to tackle the task. We can now execute on the working sessions required to cover the topic. If ever there is a topic that is derived from the original topic or something completely out of the field, then we would be able to proceed through the two following ways. The first way would be to clarify if we even have time to approach this topic, and if we do, to clarify it right away. Otherwise, it is important to take notes and discuss this matter later on. We may only have a specific amount of time allocated to cover the original topic. The follow-up phase is really flexible, as it allows you to adapt depending on the situation. It allows us to consolidate our notes, research on some of the elements that we needed to complete, and investigate on the topics that weren't able to be covered in the working session. So now we may ask, what is the importance of this guideline? The importance of this guideline is really to ensure that you're clearing all of the unknown variables and that you are able to stick to the plan. By going through the plan, you're able to identify what is the topic to cover, and if ever there is any potential scope creep, to go through the appropriate process. Keep in mind, this is a guideline. It can vary depending on the situation. For example, one of the variances that could occur is you would prefer to have alignment call with your main stakeholder before any working sessions. This will allow the stakeholder and yourself to sit down and ensure all the topics are covered, and if ever there's any preliminary questions, that they're going to be answered whenever the whole team is present. This pretty much concludes today's episode of Ponder. I hope you're enjoying the new format. If ever you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to leave a comment in this section down below. Don't hesitate to take a look at the Patreon page if I provide value. I hope you have a great day. See you soon.